Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm here joined with Call from the Moon.
Hey!
How's it going, man?
Very, very good. And you?
All right, pretty good. We're in your office and we have a kind of a gray view happening outside here.
Actually, usually, yeah, but today it's very hazy or dizzy. I don't know how to call it.
Exactly, it's haze. Yes.
Haze, yeah.
And so, yeah, but hey, we're here in Dubai and Dubai is really hot.
Extremely hot, yeah.
But it was a good thing that we weren't here last week because remember, I heard that it was like 50 degrees.
Insane, but I think it's going to become also maybe in August, yeah.
But anyways, today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. What will become money within the next 24 years, within this generation, within this next generation.
Why specifically 24 years?
Because I was like, I'm counting since I've turned 50.
Okay.
So by the time I'm 75, before I'm 75.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because
Just a very specific number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you asked the question.
Yeah. I think, okay, so within 24 years, so much can happen. And I think for Bitcoin to become the money of the world, I think we shouldn't really talk about years specifically. It's more about what happens with the monetary system. If the dollar,
but within a time frame, that's all it is.
Fine. So I think within 24 years, it's very likely that the US dollar will collapse. It could collapse literally in the next 3 years if they keep printing like this. But let's say the dollar at least has another 5 to 10 years to live. I think it's possible. So the monetary system, which is underpinned by the dollar, could have another 10 years. But if it collapses, when it does, it's actually inevitable, then something else has to step in. And then, of course, I think Bitcoin and gold, a combination of both maybe, are going to be the two ones. So that means Bitcoin has a great chance of becoming money within the next even 10 years.
Yes. Well, with Binance now doing Lightning Network and providing Lightning Network access, so you could actually take your Bitcoin off on the Lightning Network, which reduces the fees to like nothing.
Someone told me on Twitter that Binance is charging $7 for Lightning withdrawals.
Wow.
I'm not sure if that's true. I just saw someone say that and they got a bunch of likes. But that's not always a good measurement of truth on Twitter.
I will try that out. I'm gonna take a withdrawal on Binance sometime today and see if that works.
But I do know that Lightning is still not easy enough to use that it's perfect, you know?
No.
Yeah.
There are some issues, and I'm concerned about the centralization of the Lightning Network. There's lots of problems, and I talked about it on my channel with the Lightning Network.
But the first idea, remember, the first idea of Casta, for example, was to use the Lightning Network. That was the initial idea that the CEO had. But then when he and the developer, the CTO, realized that Lightning is not ready, they changed the whole idea because it's not possible. In the future, it will be possible, but right now it's just not ready for it. So the fact that Binance is doing it now means that they probably somehow maybe solved some issues.
Yeah.
But still is not going to be perfect, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to no, I haven't looked at Lightning. I ran the Lightning node 2 years ago in my house, and I still have it. It's just I haven't updated. So I'm going to play around again with Lightning, see if it's what the new features are.
I think as soon as Lightning or something else is adopted, that is a second layer that is almost as secure and almost as decentralized as Bitcoin, because it can never be as decentralized and secure, and it works and it's almost instant and almost free, then that is what we need to make Bitcoin properly, and not only as money and store of wealth, but actually like a medium of exchange currency. So I think that could take some time. But again, like we're talking like maybe a decade, maybe even 2, I think.
Possibly. But I think we're going to innovate really fast with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies because a lot of people would go, well, oh my God, Bitcoin's too slow and it's never going to work, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? People said that about cars. Right? They said, "Oh, how's there gonna be cars everybody have cars? That's impossible. You're gonna have gas stations everywhere. You're gonna have roads everywhere because they can't drive on cobblestone." Yeah, we have roads everywhere and gas stations. So whatever your complaint or imagination that's a problem, don't worry, it will get resolved with Bitcoin. So if you're thinking, well, there's nobody accepting Bitcoin. Yeah, there was no gas stations before, right?
Yeah,
So
that's a good point. Yeah, the better technology will always find its way. It's inevitable. I think Bitcoin is growing because people are learning about it. People are realizing that it is better than the other forms of money we have. The more people that realize it, the more hodlers we get, and the more, because I mean, me and Da Vinci, we will never sell our Bitcoin. Same with all of you guys probably watching this. And when you tell your friends and everyone tells their friends, eventually it just becomes this thing where everyone is going to hold Bitcoin, and then everyone needs someone to accept it. So it's like, we cannot tell people to accept Bitcoin until people actually hold it. Like, so first step is to make sure that we adopt Bitcoin as a store of wealth. Yep. And when we do that, then later the medium of exchange part of Bitcoin will
comes into effect. Yes.
That's how money usually evolves.
Exactly. So, one of the key features that people will benefit from Bitcoin and why they will want to switch is the limited supply.
Yeah.
What does the limited supply provide people? It provides people with the insurance that the value will always go up, not down.
Will not always go up.
But in general, over time, right? Unless the population drops, it's going to going up.
I mean, okay, so I agree with you for sure. I'm just saying that I think more accurately, it just guarantees that you will not be diluted. The supply will not get diluted, which of course will be a good measure. Like it will protect from massive depreciation, definitely. But I think in the future, Bitcoin is going to be overvalued. At some point, Bitcoin is going to go into some extreme where it's not supposed to be.
That's true.
And people buying there, of course, like
they'll never get that value back.
Yeah, exactly. So I agree with you right now for sure. Like it's going to go up from here. Like in the next probably 2 decades, I think it's going to go up.
Yeah, but once it becomes money, I'm talking about then it will be a slow march higher. Like for example, the reason why the Federal Reserve came into existence because the banks were realizing that people didn't want to deposit cash in the banks because they were getting a 2% increase in value just by holding cash. So why would they want to risk at a bank that could that's lending out their money actually back in the days before the Federal Reserve where they actually printed the money and sort of using the money that you deposited. And why would you do that? Because you're risking the bank closing on you, right? So just hold the cash and get 2%. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen when Bitcoin is going to be money. You're going to as much as the population grows. So right now it's at average 2% per year. That's how much you're going to gain in value, right? So that's one of the reasons why you want to hold Bitcoin. Another reason I think is that the instant transfer of money anywhere in the world and anywhere in our solar system, because effectively we can send Bitcoin to Mars or the moon.
Yeah, unless the Earth is flat.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
But yeah, otherwise you're right.
Yeah. So instant transactions, right? So now you can transact with anybody in the world instantly, and you don't have to worry. Now, have you ever tried to transfer $1 million, Carl?
Yeah.
How fun was that?
It was horrible.
Did it hurt?
Yeah. So I tried to send a little bit more than $1 million to Sweden to help out my parents with a big thing they wanted to purchase. And long story short, it took me like 6 months because it got blocked and it got flagged. It got this and that and back and forth and banks, and it was absolutely horrible. I think it was stuck for at least 6 months. It was a long time. So it was huge hassle. At the end, I had to solve it in another way. And then, it was just crazy.
Yes. This is an example of why it's so important.
Yeah. If I only wanted to send like maybe 5K, then it would have been fine. But at some point, the banks, they start flagging you because it's such a big number. And they should not flag you for any number. Whether you want to send $50 or 50 million, it's your money. You should be able to send it. And they come up with this anti-money laundering, blah, blah, blah. Like it's all excuses to just control us and track what we're doing. And
so over the 6 months, they gained a massive amount of interest on that $1 million, just so you know, right? They got paid heavily whilst you didn't. That's the sad thing. But that's the way our banking system works. And then if you're thinking, well, it's just $1 million. Okay, shut up and go to the bank and take out $2,000. Come back and tell me what happened.
In Sweden, you cannot. In Sweden, bro, you cannot even go to the bank and ask for $50 worth of currency.
Really?
It's not possible.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, Sweden is extreme, by the way. Sweden is the most cashless society in the world. It's like 99 point something % just card and digital payments. So they control everything, like every single payment is seen.
Oh my God. Do you know how bad it is? Because think about this. I was on the cruise. Everybody knows I was on a cruise last week. And I was using a credit card. And I like to use only one credit card for any particular like hotel or cruise, right? Or anything, right, that I'm staying at. They were charging my credit card, no problem. Everything was working fine. And all of a sudden, it just didn't work.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
And there was no explanation. We called the bank. They said everything's fine. It's on their side. They say, no, it's on the bank side. It was back and forth. I was back and forth for days and nobody could find out what the fucking problem was.
Yeah, that's insane.
Right? Do you want to live like that? No.
No, that's insane. We should not rely on central authorities. We should be able to trust that our money works at all times. No downtime.
Exactly. Now, of course, I had another credit card, but why did I have to do that?
Yeah, and what if you didn't have it?
Exactly.
I've been in situations before actually when I only had one credit card, and then what? Like, there's no what to do.
It would have been a disaster.
You become temporarily poor in an instant.
Yeah.
And then it's like your freedom is limited, your physical freedom, because you cannot take a taxi, you cannot travel, you cannot even eat. Actually, everything, you're literally disconnected.
Exactly.
It's actually very bad. Then you have to start stealing maybe.
So it becomes obvious why Bitcoin will become the money of the future.
Yes. It's right? So obvious, yeah.
Right? And then finally, I would like to point out, if you ever want to leave your country with all your wealth, try doing that by bringing a bunch of cash. If you can get it across
cash
the border.
And gold is going to be a huge
Or even the gold, yes.
Yeah.
Try to bring that across the borders.
Yeah.
See what happens. What would happen to you?
Yeah. It's not possible. Yeah, guys, Bitcoin is the future. And the nice thing is that not many people understand it yet. Most people have heard about Bitcoin, but if you actually ask them, most of them will say they don't hold any Bitcoin, which means that we're still early. You can keep accumulating at these prices.
Yeah. I've been on the cruise. No one except the staff, a few people on the staff knew who I was. Right? They heard about Bitcoin, but they never really knew who I was and what the Bitcoin was about. They said, they should invest in it, but they just don't understand it.
Yeah, exactly, guys. We're still early.
Exactly. Because there's only 2.5% people in Bitcoin right now. 2.5%. I think it's less than 2, just over 2%. About 220 million people are actually in Bitcoin.
220 million. You think that's true?
That's the estimate. Could be. It's because it's an estimate, right? And there's no way to really know for sure.
I think it's more like, isn't it more like 30 million?
And they've estimated around 420 million people are in crypto altogether. So they are owning other cryptocurrencies, not Bitcoin.
Okay.
So
let's take a look at those numbers.
Oh, that's what I googled a few days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can Google it and when we talk about it on your channel.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to be doing a video on Carl's channel. So check that out. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Cheers.